On the surface, Shane Dittmar is a regular Elon student. He lives in a dorm, attends classes, and hangs out with his friends. But Shane faces challenges most college students could never imagine.
If it's something that he really wants to do, there's nothing stopping him.
What's the least amount of money you saw someone lose their life over?
$40.
$40.
$40. Eventually, when you wake up in the middle of the night, cold sweats, hand on your pistol, you thinking like this lifestyle is getting out of control.
Robberies, drug trafficking, break-ins, homicides. The city of Burlington is fighting to take control in its war on gangs.
There's more anonymous Twitter accounts at Elon University than academic buildings. While some creators' identities are unknown, we may know who is responsible for this mess.
There's the Elon sass. There's like Elon white guy, 5'7", brown eyes problem. There's like just all these different accounts. And you feel partially responsible for the fact that...
I take full responsibility. I take full responsibility for that.
I'm Rachel Southmaid.
I'm Naima Abdullahi.
I'm Doug Williams. These stories now on 30 Minutes.
Elon University is well known for its beautiful campus. Many students fall in love instantly with the perfectly manicured lawns, towering oaks, and stately columns. But for current Elon freshman Shane Dittmar, it wasn't love at first sight. In fact, Shane's never even seen Elon.
So far as I've been led to believe, it's just a really blurry version of normal vision. It's like normal vision in that there's color, there's things, but it's less focused, there's less contrast.
Shane was born with Leber's congenital amaurosis, a rare genetic condition that causes severe visual impairment. In fact, it only occurs in 3 out of every 100,000 newborns. When we sat down with Shane, he told us his twin brother Derek was also born with the disease. The pair attended a preschool for the blind in their home state of North Carolina and then went to public school until leaving for college last fall.
What was it like growing up knowing that you were a little bit different than everybody else?
I'm pretty certain for the first couple of years of my life, I didn't actually realize that other people were better at seeing than I was. And it was learning a lot about navigating and advocating for yourself and working towards getting what I sort of need to function similarly to other people.
An average person's eyesight is considered to be 20/20. That means at 20 feet away, they can read text that is this size. Shane told us his eyesight is 1/400. That means he needs to be 1 foot away to see text that is double this size.
For Shane, this means every electronic thing he owns talks.
Capital W, capital A, S, 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 U, U, P. Question mark, what's up, misspelled, send. Since we sort of ended up our concerts rather early, it occurred to me that perhaps during actual...
And talks fast.
I can read a 200-page book in about, 2.5 hours.
While this may sound like a jumble to us, Shane says he can understand it because he relies on his ears much more than an average person. His computer and iPhone are keys to living and learning on a college campus. Elon's campus isn't exactly easy to navigate. So before his first semester, Shane and a disabilities expert explored Elon, practicing the routes he would need to take. Now Shane can walk around campus as well as any other student. But if he needs it, Shane's friends are more than willing to help out.
Well, if we're just, going somewhere, he usually takes our elbow or something. He's pretty comfortable with walking everywhere now that he knows the campus and everything.
Shane's parents, Kirk and Tammy, have seen firsthand how their son overcomes obstacles.
If it's something that he really wants to do, there's nothing stopping him.
That includes pursuing his passion, music.
Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile. But then if you're so smart, tell me, why are you still so afraid?
At Elon, Shane is a music education major, plays piano as often as he can, and is involved in the campus choral groups.
He is so confident up on that stage, and he's like everybody else up on that stage, and that's what's so special about performing.
If you say one word, someone who doesn't speak English doesn't understand it or won't get the right meaning from it. If you put nuance into writing, only the people who are fluent in our language are going to get it. But if you play something, and if you play it well, and if you play it expressively, anyone is going to be able to sort of hear what you're trying to say with it. And that's what I love about music, I think.
Shane plays mostly by ear, which means he can hear a song and instantly know how to play and sing along. So we decided to put his skills to the test.
All right, Shane, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play you a little bit of a song that we think you've never heard before. Let us know if you have. We'll pick something different, and then we'll test out this whole playing by ear thing, all right?
Okay.
All right, here's our first song.
Yeah, I didn't know that song.
What is it?
It's Yellow, Coldplay.
Yeah,
Good song.
exactly. Yellow
Good
by
band.
Coldplay. All right, within the first few seconds. Let's see another one. This will be a little easier.
Shane also writes and composes his own music. He's taught himself to record, mix, copyright, and even sell his music on iTunes.
It's taking this risk and inviting people in to see this thing that you've put a piece of yourself, not to mention your time and your effort into creating, and saying, here, judge this.
Why do you like playing music so much?
Because it helps me get chicks.
Yes, Shane's life at Elon is as normal as most other students. He even has a girlfriend, fellow freshman Emma Hughes. Shane actually won her over through an original song. When she asked him to impress her, this is what he came up with.
'Cause with you, everything that hurts just seems to slowly fade away. 'Cause when I'm with you, I somehow know that everything else will be okay.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans.
These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids.
Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. But so is the solution.
Give a gift of meals to a family in need. Visit feedingamerica.org/giveameal today.
Say the word gangs and you might think of bandanas and graffiti painted buildings. But here in Burlington, North Carolina, those symbols could be on trees, air conditioner units, and power lines. And that means the battle against gangs could be anywhere.
I was just a full-blown menace, what people used to call me, because I didn't really care about life. Basically, I was just like a renegade.
A former gang member who has asked to remain anonymous used to sell drugs and commit crimes right here in Burlington. His voice has been altered to protect his identity.
With being a gang member from 12 years old to 18 years old, did you become addicted to that lifestyle?
It gives you a rush. Because it makes you feel empowered. It makes you feel like a boss. It makes you feel like a king. Like can't nobody touch you.
He says drug dealing became a business that kept his wallet full.
If I can be my own boss, I can make my own hours, set up my own schedules, set up my own employees.
While he is no longer in a gang, there are many others in Burlington who are. According to the sheriff's office, there are more than 90 known gangs and about 500 confirmed gang members in Alamance County. Out of the 9 cities in the county, Burlington houses 14 of those gangs, with more than 200 suspected gang members. That means in Burlington's population of 51,000, 1 in about 250 people is suspected of gang activity. Sheriff spokesman Randy Jones says the big issue is that life gets treated like a game.
A lot of the kids today don't realize that dead is permanent. You don't rise from that. There's no coming back. Once you're dead, that's it. That's the end of your life.
The sheriff's office says that every single confirmed gang member has 10 affiliates who are associated with gang activity. Multiply the 500 confirmed members by 10, and that makes 5,000 people in the county connected with gangs. Jones says the most common crimes committed by gang members in Burlington are robberies, drug trafficking, break-ins, and homicides. Alan Blue, Gang Resource Coordinator of Burlington, would tell you that part of the solution is preventative action. He works in the community to direct kids away from gang activity.
If that's the only life they've ever known, how do you open their eyes up?
I decided I wanted to work with some kids, because the sooner you catch them, you can redirect that energy at an early age. Because once they hit 18, it's almost a done deal, and they've already made some life decisions and choices that can't be redirected.
Terrell Russell is a 15-year-old who lives in Burlington. He's grown up seeing others join gangs, but says it's not for him.
To know I don't want to disappoint my family and that I don't want to disappoint myself.
His parents, Kenneth and Kalita Russell, realize that there are negative influences around.
There's no one is immune from it. You know, it can happen to any child, any parent.
You never know when you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And even though what you're doing might be innocent, but somebody around you, could be doing something wrong.
That's the biggest thing, just to know the level of importance of how easy it is for you to become a victim.
The Russells know their presence and love could make the difference.
I feel like that's the only way that you can express, how much you really care about somebody is through love and affection.
But not everyone is as lucky as Terrell.
What was missing in the household that made you want to join?
It's my daddy wasn't there. He had left when I was like 7. So that kind of made me feel angry. So when he left, I kind of kept all my emotions bottled up.
Most of our kids join the gang for protection, identity, and the love. Those are the 3 common reasons why our kids join the gang here.
This former gang member says while gang life may bring protection, it doesn't offer safety.
What's the least amount of money you saw someone lose their life over?
$40.
$40.
$40. Eventually, when you wake up in the middle of the night, cold sweats, hand on your pistol, you thinking like this lifestyle is getting out of control.
And when you were a gang member, how did you view the law enforcement?
We just viewed them as just like nobody's does. Just viewed them as like pawns in this game that's in the way. Got to move.
He was detained a total of 22 times and was on a first-name basis with police officers.
At any point, did you think this is wrong for the community? There are kids looking up to me that might want to be just like me. I might be a bad role model. Did any of those thoughts go through your head or any other?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. But it just makes you feel like, yeah, I'm a big part of the community, but I'm not the positive part of the community. I'm the negative influence that these kids see.
But what eventually broke him out of his lifestyle was the birth of his daughter, which he says gave him a new outlook on life.
It basically makes me feel like I became more of a man than I was, because I basically put my foot down and took up for myself. Because basically, as what I tell people now, joining the gang is not being a leader. Joining the gang means you're a follower.
Although he says he started a new life, he's haunted by his past.
I still have nightmares at night about half of the stuff I've seen and done, but that's just my way of cope with everything.
Terrell says he has the tools he needs to avoid trouble and rise above negative influences, his family and his faith.
How sweet. The cool people are the ones that have big jobs and money, so there's not really anything cool about being high or just thinking you're cool because you're in the gang or whatever. It's not that much of a big deal.
This life ain't no game. What you doing ain't no game. You cannot basically hit the reset button as like what I tell people now. You can't act like it's a video game. You can't hit the reset button and start over. Once you're gone, you're gone.
I see.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 260.
That's how many runs were walked in with the bases loaded last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's the number of kids who witness bullying, 3 out of 4.
Not a good stat.
No, it's not, but that can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. You can visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
It has more than 500 million users, each communicating in 140 characters or less. Here at Elon, we know who runs some Twitter accounts, but many don't know who is behind the sometimes crude, rude, offensive, and anonymous accounts.
It's a diary that everyone can read that's not important.
That's one way to look at it. Others might say Twitter is a way to express yourself, some more than others.
I have 6 Twitter accounts, and I have 12,500 tweets on one of those Twitter accounts, and I guarantee you almost all of those tweets have no meaning.
Joe Bruno and Michelle Leibel run 2 of the most popular anonymous accounts at Elon, but they're not alone. With a quick search of Twitter, you'll find Fake ELN, the Elon P, McEwen Problems, Elon Sass, Poor of Elon, Elon GDI Problems, Elon Black Problem, the Elon Gay, and the Bubble Bitch. But we're going to introduce you to 4 students. Each runs an anonymous account. Together, they have more than 9,000 followers. The newest of the 4 is Elon Makeouts, an account that posts pictures of, well, you guessed it, people making out. Next is Elon Confessions, which allows students to do just that, confess. Its creator controls what's posted, but she says the tweets are written by Elon students themselves. Then there's XO Gossip Squirrel. That's Michelle Leibel, originally making fun of the infamous furry creatures that are always climbing up trees at Elon, as well as the tween TV drama Gossip Girl. And finally, there's Bruno's account, only at Elon, which has more followers than the president of the university. It focuses on the traditions and inside jokes between all Elon students. Some attribute the anonymous Twitter phenomenon to Bruno.
There's the Elon Sass. There's like Elon white guy, 5'7", brown eyes problem. There's like just all these different accounts. And you feel partially responsible for the fact that...
Oh, I take full responsibility. I take full responsibility for that.
It turns out that Bruno and Leibel are friends, and their opinions on the anonymous Twitter movement may surprise you.
I think it's a little bit sad, the Twitter movement at Elon, because it makes me wonder, like, if there aren't any other creative ways people can express themselves on campus. Like, it's hypocritical because I clearly made one and Joe made one, but I think when we made ours, there was sort of like a niche in there. Like, it didn't exist yet.
No, it was just us and Elon Girl Problem, and that's it.
And since then, there are more Elon-related anonymous Twitter accounts than there are academic buildings on our campus. Some are for pleasure, some act as a place for students to express frustrations, but there is one Twitter that is trending on Elon's campus, Elon Confessions.
So the way it works is in the information, there's a link to a Google form. And so it's literally just a box and it says, what's your confession? So the way they come into me is a Google spreadsheet with a timestamp and the confession. And then I just copy and paste it from there to Twitter.
The creator of Elon Confessions wanted to remain anonymous, so he changed her voice and masked her face. She wants to stay anonymous because she doesn't want people to feel like they are confessing to someone in particular. A lot of the tweets, coincidentally, have taken a sexual turn. The R-rated nature of some of the tweets has caused some controversy, but the account's creator tells 30 Minutes that scandalous tweets are what has kept the account alive.
I think in the beginning that is a huge part of what helped it take off, and I think when people think confession, they kind of think dirty little secret, and if you see one person post something sexual, I think it must trigger something. Oh, I've done something like that, I've done something worse than that, in going ahead and one-upping each other. I think that's very much a chain effect. If people see it, it's what they post.
But she says what makes it onto Twitter isn't nearly as graphic as what's posted on her spreadsheet.
Are you surprised at some of the things that you read on it?
I definitely am. I probably post a third, if that, of what gets confessed. For example, today I saw 20 and probably put up 4 of them, just because some are either really gross and inappropriate. There's some that I edit just to be less graphic. And some are just flat out mean and just things that I don't think need to ever be out there or for anyone to see. They're not so much a secret or expressive as just rude.
Every tweet is a risk for these anonymous accounts. One wrong word could get a Twitter account into hot water, like the Elon D, a reference to male genitalia, and an account that was deleted by its creator because of public backlash.
for the most part, it was a pretty fun account. I mean, there was it was interactive. People would tweet to it, they'd retweet it, just making jokes about the Elon D, which if you think about, it's a pretty stupid concept. Like, she wants the Elon D. I mean, come on. But it was funny until it went over the line with the joke.
The tweet Bruno is talking about refers to Elon Baseball's victory over NC State.
They used rape as a word to say that they beat them very badly, and that was super offensive to me. So I tweeted at the account saying something like, rape isn't funny, this is really offensive.
That's Delaney McHugo, an Elon sophomore who took action against the account. Dean of Student Life Smith Jackson, who was originally notified of the account after McHugo's tweets, acknowledges the dilemma that accounts like this present, allowing free speech even when it offends people.
We're often trying to balance this respect for each other on a college campus, which is important to us, with the ability to express your views and not to shut down voices because people disagree, and sometimes that means people are offensive. And I think what happens when people perceive something as offensive, that they need to respond to that.
And that's exactly what McHugo did, respond. And it was that response that brought an inordinate amount of attention to the account. Jackson and the administration got involved because in this case, the tweets were more than offensive.
We did intervene in that case to do a couple things. Certainly to talk with those students, but also to really draw some parameters.
Days later, the account was removed.
That was really never my intention to have the entire Twitter be taken down. It was just more of an example of how our society treats this issue and how we can grow from it. And I think that everyone has the right to, speak whatever, tweet whatever, but I also have the right to be offended by what you tweet.
These accounts can make it easier to offend followers like McHugo, simply because their creators have the ability to hide behind the facade of anonymity, much like the creator of Elon Makeouts.
It's easier to tweet something funny because I'm not really judged because no one knows it's me.
Even though the facade exists, not all anonymous Twitter accounts abuse that freedom.
Do you ever think about whether you're offending people when you tweet?
I have never sent out a tweet with the intention of harming someone or attacking a specific group on campus. Now, I understand some of my tweets can be taken as offensive, and some tweets do make fun of different groups. But if I make fun of one group, I have to make fun of all the groups. That's just how it works.
But being offensive isn't the only concern. Some accounts run into the issue of privacy, accounts like Elon Makeouts.
Does it ever worry you that maybe this account is an invasion of privacy?
I guess it would worry me a little bit because if you knew me, I'm a very nice person. I don't ever want to insult anybody. But at the same time, if it's that public, because people don't go behind doors to find two people being secretive. It's if they're out in the open. So if it's an invasion of privacy, a little bit, but it's kind of what they deserve.
With new accounts surfacing at this kind of rate, even the original creators are getting a little tired of the frenzy.
They're all just battling each other. Elon girl problem versus Elon girl problems, or me versus the bubble bitch versus life in the sass lane or something like that. Do we need that many Twitter accounts?
Whether it's necessary or not, Bruno admits that this Twitter phenomenon is getting to be a little bit overwhelming.
I don't know why people think they're funny. I think they're stupid. And I run one.